It's your favorite buddy, George Gray from The Price is Right. This is going to be an amazing episode of Whatever Buddy with Johnny, Ryan, and you know what? The amazing Stoneman, one of my very best friends in the world. And that's why I'm here today. Well, that and community service because, you know, it was either that or pick up trash in the freeways. But man, we are going to talk about my career. We're going to talk about Johnny being at Raper Bond coming up soon. Buy some tickets if you get a chance. Love you guys. Tune in right now.
Hello, listeners of the world. All
listeners
nine
of
you. We welcome you back.
Explain this to me, please, Johnny, and listeners, if you find a way to
Harris,
like, subscribe, comment.
We got to stop. I got to put my headphones on because you're probably coming through my microphone.
All right, well, put your headphones on, and I'm going to explain to you my problem with today. So I get up and I text you. Are you ready? Like, you know, like I was running a little bit late. I'm not trying to blame shift or anything, but I don't get a reply from you.
I was on a meeting.
I send you. I didn't know that. How am I supposed to know that? So I send you another, like a Zoom link text, you know, and you write back, on it, B.
ITP. I didn't feel like we're correcting that. Usually I would send back like an asterisk it, but in that case, I just was like ITB. I don't know. That sounds
ITB.
Cool.
Yeah.
Hello, everybody. How y'all doing?
Hello, everybody.
I'm Johnny. This is Ryan. We're here back for another Whatever Buddy Wednesday on the Whatever Buddy podcast. We have a good one today, Harris.
Thought you cared about how I was doing. Yeah, we do. I'm excited. As you can tell, I had my caffeine.
How are
Pretty
you?
good. It's sunny out, and I'm inside a dark enclosed room with lights on.
When you say it's sunny out, Sonny Remlinger standing outside your door?
Oh, shout out Sundog. What's up?
Sundoggy! He's somewhere
Sundog.
out in this country on tour. It's doing something.
I know. Sundog and Bones Owens. Go check them out.
Go check them out if you're in the area, wherever they're playing. I don't know where they're playing, but I'm sure it's not hard to find. Anyways, this morning I didn't stop at Yum Yum. I stopped at Subway. Nothing like going into Subway.
Did they change their gloves for you?
Well, I was the only one in there, so they didn't need to. They just put on brand new ones. It always makes me happy when I see that. When I see them put on brand new gloves, the only thing I question at that point is that they don't use a dirty knife to cut my sandwich because I really don't want the guys.
I'm amongst my people and I feel comfortable.
Yeah, it was nice. I got myself a meatball sandwich. Ate it in the morning.
Breakfast?
Nothing for breakfast. In fairness, I've been here at the room for the last 3 hours having meetings, and I just ate half of the sandwich right before we got on. So I didn't even. I guess it's more like lunchtime now because it is like 11:50.
Yeah. Listen, man, I'm not one to judge your schedule, nor your timing, nor your logic for eating meatball sub at 8 in the morning. I mean, did it make you happy? Do you feel good?
It did. Yesterday I went and I got an egg and bacon flatbread from there, and I that didn't sit well because I didn't get to that for a little. Yeah, but it's probably good when you eat it hot. I don't eat shit hot. We have a cool episode today. Today we have, I don't know if you call him the voice of The Price is Right, but he's kind of the voice. He's the guy you hear talking about the prizes when somebody comes down to participate. He's the one who says, "Come on down." My goal today is to get him to commit to doing our intro for this episode. So by the time you're listening to this, you're going to know whether or not I achieved that. Possible I don't, but I'm going to try.
Right now we're in a little gray area.
We're in a gray area. We're going to try to make this happen. But we should probably bring in Stoneman because Stoneman is the guy who helps us.
He's our 6 degrees of separation between.
Wait, before we go any further, I want everybody to know that the guy's name is George Gray, and George has got quite a history. He's been doing game show hosting or announcing since the 90s. So the guy's got a pretty cool story, I bet, and we're going to get to the bottom of that.
Was the host.
The Extreme Gong Show in the 90s.
Announcer of the Weakest Link.
Yeah, I never seen that show, but I've heard of it.
I watched it. According to his Wikipedia page, he's like a funny guy, like he's an entertaining guy. He used to be a comedian, and then he's the announcer on the Weakest Link, and then like the host was kind of like what's the word, cunty. And so that kind of balanced out.
Cunty.
Not her personally. Her role on the show, she was just like kind of like stern, no bullshit.
Well, I mean, she probably is cunty in person. You don't just put on that hat. That hat comes.
Well, we're just starting right into it, aren't we, dude? Huh? Now he's on The Price is Right. He's been the announcer of The Price is Right since 2011. And our friend Stoneman is friends with him. He's in a band with him. All that fun stuff. I don't know why. I'm over-explaining right now. I'm mansplaining right now.
Well, we're going to have Stoneman come in and explain all that.
Yeah.
Why don't we bring Stoneman in?
Cool. Hey, Stoneman, so we got your buddy on today, huh? We got your buddy
Yes,
George.
sir. The G-Man, the G-Man.
If I was a betting man, I'd say you call him Georgie.
Nope, the G-Man.
No? The G-Man?
G-Man.
Cool.
Yep.
Is that
Yep.
why is that what you guys are in a band called the G's? Is that why?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. He had a bigger name than the rest of us. Hey, G.
There we go.
There we go.
I think the band's back together. I think the band's back together.
Wait, what does G do in the band?
G's a drummer.
He's a
And,
drummer.
and the announcer.
We got two.
Well, G, if you can sing, then we're a full band. Then you could be the singer and I'll just be the drummer. But otherwise, we'll be just two drummers and we'll get somebody else to sing and we'll be like a not the Grateful Dead.
Why can't we be 38 Special?
There you go.
Perfect.
There you go, baby.
38 Special. I didn't know 38 Special had two drummers.
All right. George, it's nice to meet you. I'm Ryan. This is Johnny.
Hi, George.
And thanks for doing our
I like
podcast.
38
We
Special,
really
by the way.
appreciate
I'm a huge fan.
I like
Huge
38
fan.
Special too, but I
fan.
think we should move on and move forward.
Ryan wants to move on, man. He is
man.
Man.
I run a tight ship.
Ryan's on point.
So tell us, guys, how do you guys know each other?
Actually, do you want to take that, Stone? You want me to?
Go ahead. You start it. I'll go on after.
Yeah. So it was my girlfriend at the time. It was Megan, right? Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And I had only lived. I just bought this house up in the hills. I don't know. I think I had it less than a year, maybe. And there was a dog that just showed up like at our doorstep, like needing water, wanted food. Was the sweetest dog. It was kind of a pit mix, and she was just super friendly. Well, I remember there was a dude in the neighborhood that had a pit bull, and I'd kind of see him like there was a little park area that Universal owned on down by the street, and so I just pulled over and hit him up. That's right. That's how it happened, wasn't it, Stoney?
Yeah, Megan stopped first, and she said, "Yeah, we found your dog." I said, "No, you didn't find my dog. I had your other dogs. I had two people. I had Hacksaw, the white guy, and I had this kind of tan one. And so, no, we found your other one." She says. I says, "Look, you didn't find my dog." And then all of a sudden, I see this guy pulling up in a freaking Hummer right behind her. Right? She's like, "Oh, that's my boyfriend. That's my boyfriend. He's in the business like this." And me, being a musician, being the job I did, I go, "Oh. He does porn like this?" She's like, no, he's an actor like this. Oh, okay, my bad. You know,
That's
how
great.
we
That's
met.
the first place your mind went.
We met saving a dog. So I thought this is a great guy, you know. And we just started. Cool. We took a ride on the bikes after that. The rest is history. Yeah.
Best friends ever since, man.
That's right, brother.
Gee, what was your first impression of Stoneman when you met?
Great guy. You know, for some reason, Stoneman can intimidate some people. What with the gentle looks and whatnot. And he was just immediately the nicest guy on the planet. And I love the doggies very much. And so we hit it right off. I mean, it was kind of instant like that, you know.
It's interesting. Yeah. People find Stoneman intimidating because before I met Stoneman, we knew a mutual person and we were going on tour together. And I was told that Stoneman, hey, listen, man, kind of stay out of his way. You know, he's kind of, he just gave me this weird impression. So I was like, all right, just don't talk to that guy. And if I get pot, make sure to give it to him. That's what I was told. And then, so then I met him and I was like, this is the guy you were talking about? He was the sweetest guy. Maybe he just can sense cool people. And then he can also sense just the jerk-offs.
I've said that for years in music. Like some of my closest friends are like, quote, freaky looking or whatever. They're the nicest people on the planet. I love that, the few times that Stone's been pulled over, on a bike with ape hangers and a mask that's got a skull on it, and sleeved up and the whole thing. And, he's been pulled over for whatever, dumb stuff, never anything outrageous. And the first thing apparently they always ask him is, what do they say? Who's your parole officer?
Yeah. What were you in jail for? I'm like, I've never been to jail. What are you talking about?
Wow.
Like, what's the tattoos?
Crazy.
What do all your tattoos mean?
Yeah.
Just things that I love. You know what I mean? I had my dog, had some music, had my dad. You know.
Whatever do you mean by that asshole?
That's where the Fourth Amendment comes in. Back to the last episode we did, and you tell them, you know what? I don't need to say anything to you. Go fuck yourself.
Well, that's now. But back before everybody was woke, right?
Yeah.
I was like, yes, sir. No problem, sir. You know?
Yeah.
No, that's true. So how did it go from saving a dog to best friends? Like, how did you get from point A to point B?
It wasn't long. It wasn't long after we had met. We went up. I think we just did a kind of me, you, and the Freak did a jam session. Right? That's how it started. Me, you, and the Freak started, and he plays in.
Who's the Freak?
Blackfoot. Tim Rossi. He plays in Blackfoot now.
Your cover band, the G's. I think Stoneman told me that's because of your name, George, right? The G's. Is that?
I think it came. I think that name came about because a lot of people like. There's a bar at my house. It takes up almost one floor, and then we jam on that area. And
is that where you're sitting now?
Sorry, no. This is actually I'm in my pad in St. Louis. Although it does kind of have the same kind of vibe. Stinky's Bar and Cigar Lounge is what it's named. And but people would just say, "Oh, you're going to G's?" Like they just started saying that, and I was like, "Oh yeah, we're going over to G's," because I was doing a show called Weakest Link at the time, and so we would. When would we jam? Was it like every Wednesday, every Friday, or something like that?
Yeah, like every Wednesday night. Every Wednesday we'd get together.
I think it was every Wednesday because that was our Friday for the show, and so we had a bartender, Dave. I remember Dave Holm, our bartender.
Yeah, Dave was awesome.
And everybody just came over. This was before social media was really big, so people just didn't show up. Like they all knew you got invited.
How many people would end up in one of these parties?
I think a good mix was always like 50 to 100. It started getting a little crowded after that.
Yeesh.
And would you guys? You said you guys played these parties? That's where the G's would play.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we'd start jamming. We knew a few.
Were you guys
songs.
all single men at this point in time?
I wasn't.
You weren't single. Were you single at the time?
I mean, aren't we always kind of single? I mean, really, Johnny?
Allegedly.
Let's not define borders and parameters here.
Thank you, G.
Can I be in your band? Can I be in your band?
I love it. So great. Okay, you guys have been friends for a while. Yep. You're the voice on The Price is Right that says, "Come on down."
Yep.
That's crazy. How does one get that gig?
It's a dream gig.
Yeah, I obviously got some good blackmail on somebody. I'll tell you that. I had never. A lot of people are like, "Oh, how long you been an announcer?" I'm like, "Just this show." I don't do voiceover work. I'm not a voiceover guy. I never was. I think my voice sounds like nails on a chalkboard. I had hosted a bunch of shows. I did a show. The first one I did, Movies for Guys Who Like Movies. Which was on TBS at the time. Yeah, they'd show a dude film, and then we'd go blow something up or race a car or whatever they did in the movie. And then I did a version of the Gong Show.
We watched some of that yesterday. We watched some of that yesterday, and we won't talk.
Oh, you did? Okay, saw some clips. Did your research? I like it. And
of course. No, I want to talk about that for a second. Let's stop.
We run a tight ship.
Times have changed since then, because the banter of that time could not fly today. I was watching some of that.
It was identical to the Man Show. I mean, you had, Jimmy was in blackface, and because that was comedy and it wasn't coming from a hurtful place. And now it's been decided that is a hurtful thing, or maybe it was always decided, but now it's set in stone. You just don't do that. And so we had a little person on the show that was, and this was pre. Mini-Me from the Austin Powers movies. This was, we had a character named Minnie the Mailbox, and he would come out and little person, and he was in like red spandex, I think, and he had a mailbox over his shoulders, and his face was sticking out of the front of the mailbox, and he would read mail that was fake. And it was the Gong Show. So they would make up the mail, and they were always little sketch bits, gags, stuff like that. And these days I think there'd be a lot of blowback for that.
But that was normal. I grew up through the 90s. Like that was normal to me. Like, I mean, like, now it just feels like you can't say anything. We won't even go touch that topic. I do want to say that while researching the Extreme Gong Show, we went back and we stumbled upon a unedited version of the original Gong Show where they showed a set of tits.
Yeah.
Where they showed what?
A set of tits. And we paused it. And we got to see the tits. It was the unedited version. They never went back to the girl, but they weren't able to catch it. And she literally took her tits out on the show.
Wow.
Wait, Harris might have it over there.
I feel like we should. Let's pull it up.
Pull it up. So
give me.
Gee, it was crazy. I couldn't freaking believe.
Yeah.
Because they weren't a live show, so maybe just if she did it in the taping and then they just
because the title of the YouTube clip was the unedited version of Somebody the Dance Guy or whatever, and it's this guy up there dancing.
Gene the Dance Machine.
Gene the Dance Machine, who then worked, I think, as a camera operator for NBC for years. He worked as a union guy for years after that. Yeah,
that's interesting because. People were just going crazy, and then this chick just started stripping, and she pulled her tits out, and then it was like,
check it out, right here it is.
Oh, this is it.
Yeah.
Wait for it.
Wait for it.
Titties on
Bam.
TV.
That does not happen on The Price is Right.
So I'm curious. Is somebody that wasn't into voiceover announcing or anything, like what was the deal with The Price is Right coming along?
See, good for you, Ryan. That's getting the train back on track.
I run a tight ship.
I'm the pinball around here.
So where I was going with that is I did the Gong Show, then I did something called Junkyard Wars, which was an American version of Scrap Heap Challenge, huge British hit. We were the #1 show on cable TV. I got nominated for Primetime Emmy. Then I went on to do Weakest Link, the show that we were doing when I started jamming with Stoney and the boys.
Yeah.
And then cut to 10 years later, after the show was over, the guy who was the executive producer of Price was actually a longtime friend of mine, also a client of our agent. And when I was doing Link, he wound up producing some on the show. And I broke first, then he did it. We were all trying. There was 3 of us all trying to get on camera. And there was a guy named Bob Oshak. He wound up becoming a big late night writer. Was writing for the Late Late Show. And he's still a writer and a really funny guy. And then a guy named Mike Richards, who a very talented host, kind of the Dick Clark style host, I think. And then he became more of the producer side. I kind of broke onto camera. And so we were all still doing this, we're all still friends. Well, cut to 10 years later when they needed an announcer for Price is Right, he said to our agent, hey, I want George to come in. I want to give him a shot on this. And because he gave me that shot, that's why I'm where I'm at today. So they were looking for somebody that was, to answer your question, Ryan, they were looking for somebody who could improv with Drew and kind of banter. It was less about the, how do you read, it's a new can of cream corn. It's not so much about that. It's like, how do you get along? Can you just think on your feet? And so that's why I'm there.
You're leaving out one of my favorite shows. I'd Do Anything.
Oh my God. Jesus.
I love that show.
Tell me about that show.
The Rose Bowl.
I remember that. Were you there for Rose Bowl?
Yeah, you brought me to the Rose Bowl. I roll up my Harley, throwing the football around on the field. I was like, what the hell's happening right now? I thought it was the greatest thing on the planet.
That was the show during the hockey lockout. So what was that, 2006, maybe 7, somewhere around there?
Great. I loved it.
ESPN needed primetime programming because they didn't have hockey. And so they bought this show called I'd Do Anything. And it was, I always described it as a cross between Fear Factor and Jackass. And it was like this was a competition show. You weren't playing for yourself. You were playing for somebody else. So somebody that you knew, your dad, your sister, your brother, your weird cousin, whatever, had a sports dream. They always wanted to, play basketball with Michael Jordan or go shoot around a golf with Jack Nicklaus, whatever, something. They had a dream. And whoever won got to give their friend, family member, whatever, that dream. We actually had it arranged. We had it dialed in. Hey, you want to take a punch on an airplane from Mike Tyson? We got him. So, whatever.
Imagine the possibilities.
Yeah, they're endless. So we'd have it lined up. But so then the competitions, this is where the jackass comes in, is like we'd blindfold them and put them in a van and take them somewhere. And they would say, okay, well, hey, how many of you like basketball? Okay, they like basketball. Okay, well, today is big honor. You're going to be playing basketball with the Bulls, but they're not from Chicago. They're from Mexico. And then we reveal a very pissed off bull in a ring and a basketball hoop in one corner. And then I say, and I just started this. I would say, all you got to do. So it's just, all you got to do is take the ball. You don't even have to dribble it. Just take the ball to the other side of the court, make a basket. Whoever makes the most baskets in this amount of time wins. By the way, there will be a bull. And and he's a little angry. And there's places to hide. So you can just hide the whole time if you want. But you're not going to win. And so we had this one dude. He was going to win. All he needed is one more basket. And I think he went last, so he was going to win this. And he's moving, he's trucking, he's right under the basket, and he looks back over his shoulder. Like he looks back, and you see, you could see that look in his eye was, he could duck behind. He could duck behind, but he wouldn't win. He could take the shot quickly, and he probably would skiff it. Or if he just took one more step, he probably had it. So he takes his step, he goes up, he goes for a shot, and that bull flipped him hard, and he wound up.
Get the shot?
No, he lost. No,
he lost.
He lost,
and he got the bull.
Story here. No, it actually hit the rim and went off.
But he did get a consolation prize. He gets a consolation prize.
Oh yeah, the consolation prize was a ride in an ambulance while I'm interviewing him. That was the consolation prize.
How does a network that show wouldn't happen today? Like how did they get around the insurance of all of that?
I do not know. I don't know, but it was fun. It was a fun show. They did some really,
out of my hands.
Some really, really, really crazy. Yeah, the football one. I remember were they getting tackled? Was that what it was?
Exactly. They had to go from the 10-yard line. Whoever could make it into the end zone won. And the guy who won, lost 10 yards. That's the guy who won. Everyone else lost more than 10 yards.
What were they going against, though? What were they going against?
Like the A team of the pro A team, and that was the B pro team that was offense. So the defense were animals. They were lined up ready just to slay somebody.
And then the contestant was like the running back?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, brilliant.
The point being is we would do this when we do baseball. Oh, that's right. We did with baseball. This one was a little tough. I'm not gonna lie. This one was a little tough because I played ball growing up. Was how many times you sat at home and said, I could hit this bum. I can't. How can you not hit that pitch? We've all done it. Any idiot could hit that pitch. That was so easy. Well, what we did is we had a pro pitcher. Or no, it wasn't even that. I think it was actually a pitching machine. Maybe it was. I think so. But it was, you're going to get a curveball, a slider, or a fastball, but you don't know what it is. And all you got to do is hit the ball, if fair, and then the fastest person to run around the bases wins. That was it.
Simple.
But I nicknamed it Mace Ball because for every strike, was it every strike? You got bear strength pepper spray sprayed in your face. Dude, it was jackass, man. It was seriously jackass.
You mean like swing and a miss and they get pepper sprayed?
It was brutal. It was crazy. And then so you basically had people trying to crawl around the bases. And then when they got to the end, the medics come over and start rinsing off their faces. But something you don't think about, I know I didn't think about it, is as the pepper spray is rinsing off their face to ease their pain,
it's burning them.
Where do you think the pepper spray is going to trickle down to?
Right down to the jewels.
Man.
Brutal.
One time I cut a jalapeno pepper. I was cooking, then I went and took a leak, and I forgot to wash my hands, so I can imagine how that pepper spray felt, dude.
Brutal.
Just a little bit about me, just trying to relate.
So what was the audition like for The Price is Right?
That was actually, it was myself and I think 5 other guys got 20 shows each. So it was actually a
cool.
working audition. So
that's cool.
We actually really did 20 shows each. Like Brad Sherwood, who's one of the Who's Line guys. He went a couple before me, and he'd do his 20 episodes, which took about, they'd shoot them over like 3 weeks time. And then they catalog those, and then they'd have mine and somebody else's. And I knew they already had somebody that they really liked, and I knew I didn't stand a chance. And the executive producer, Mike Richards, said, just go in and do the best you can, And so I just decided, well, I'm just going to have fun, do it my way, because I'm not going to get it anyway. But then in those 20 episodes, I totally fell in love with the show. It was so unbelievably fun. You cannot be in a bad mood when you're in that room at stage 33. It's amazing. 300 and 350 people losing their minds. It's just a great room.
What's a day like how's the schedule work? Like, do you bulk shoot and then you have time off? Like, I think somewhere along the line, Stone mentioned you do 3 shows in a day. What's a schedule like?
Usually I wake up, do a big rail of blow. I get a Thai massage, and then, you get down to the studio and just find
the usual.
So we do 3 shows a day normally now. We were doing 2 when I came on to the program, and then a few years ago they tried 3, and now we're pushing 3 pretty aggressively. With COVID, the less days you shoot, the better. And so it's typically we'll shoot 3 shows a week, 3 days a week, and go 3-3-2. So there's 3 shows, and then 2 shows, which sounds like, oh, you're only doing 3 days. 8 shows is a lot.
3 full days. Yeah.
What is the worst thing you've seen a contestant do in the years you've been doing this?
That's pretty easy. It's funny. I think that I never saw the episode, but it would take a lot of editing. This was maybe 5 years ago, I think. There was a group, and I remember him too. There was a group of 4 young, attractive women. And they were, I remember they were sitting stage right. I remember looking down and seeing them.
Had nothing to do with the fact that they were 4 young, attractive women.
That's exactly why I recognized them, Johnny. Jeez, stick with the story, man. So pretty girls, and because I would go out always before the show, do a little warm up, kind of get everybody to go. Hey, here's what's going to happen. Here's how the show's going to count down. It's the world's easiest warm up. It's just about kind of explaining, hey, here's what to expect, have fun, help each other. And so they were being really interactive for the few minutes I was out there, and great. I don't know who's going to get picked. Well. So I go to the podium, I call names, and I think she was one of the first ones. One of them got picked. So she starts playing, and they were all great. I had spoken with them, they're all fun and nice. I see why one of them got picked. And then the drugs that they took in the parking lot kicked in.
Oh, wow.
Oh, no.
What kind of drugs?
Of course. We didn't know that now, did we? So they had done Molly. And, we don't know for sure, but it was really obvious. Like Drew.
Allegedly.
Drew was losing his mind because she didn't get on stage. That's right. But it really started to kick in hard about halfway through the show. And so she went from this really nice, sweet, fun person to woo! And she was at one point, Drew's like, okay, what would you like to bid? And she's like, what? Huh? And kept asking him questions. And you could actually, I've never heard anybody in Price is Right audiences boo, but you could hear because everybody knew something was wrong. And there was, and then he kept saying, okay, come on, I need a bid from you. And he's just, Drew thought this was the funniest thing he's ever seen in his life. So he's just trying not to laugh. And so she says, okay, I'm sorry. Okay, I'm going to bid. Okay, I'm going to bid. Okay, I'm going to bid 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then she'd start running around the room cheering. It was insane. It was insane. insane. She did not make it up on stage. Apparently, Drew saw them when he left the studio after the show, and they were like on the street corner, like trying to figure out where they were.
I love them.
That's the best.
So there you go. That's probably the wildest Price is Right story.
Did that air?
Did it air? Yeah. As far as I know, it did. Yeah, I believe it did. But I'm sure they did some creative editing around all those things. Yeah.
Things.
When it went from Bob Barker to Drew, was there like a backlash amongst fans anywhere?
Well, I think there's, the fact is Price is Right. We just celebrated our 50th anniversary. Wow. I mean, that's just and that's not something you just skate around. That's not a wedding anniversary, which is still very impressive. That's a television show. Keep in mind that in 50 seasons, there's only been 3 other guys with my job. 3 in 50. Wow. And there's only been 1 other dude with Drew's job. So of course people are going to be a little nervous when there's change.
Yeah, for sure.
Because you don't want your baby ruined, and I'm sure there was a lot of talk about like, well, what's this going to be like? Because Drew's style is very, very different than Bob's. But what Drew does, which is identical to Bob, is he honors the show. He never treats the show poorly. He never acts like he doesn't love or need the show. He really does honor it and its history so that it still has that same feel. But then he's goofier and he's funnier and just kind of attacks in a different way. Just like I'm different than Johnny Olson and Rod Roddy, of course.
Who was the guy before you, and why did he give up that gig?
Well, the very first guy was Johnny Olson. And he actually was a radio guy. He was a radio announcer. So he was actually on camera, though, on Price, I think, after a while. He actually was the voice of the Honeymooners. It's the Honeymooners. Oh, and so that was him. So he was an old timer. And then he had the job till he died. And then Rod Roddy took over the show. He had the job till he died. And
I didn't know he died. I thought he just retired. That's sad.
Nope, he died. And then Rich Fields, a guy, had the job for almost 10 years. And then he left, and then I almost died. So I'm going to go back to being the guy that dies with the show.
Yeah, well, I want to get
on
to that.
The show.
We were talking to Stone about having you on. He was telling us how you had my facts could be wrong, 3 heart attacks in a short period of time.
Yes, yeah, all within just a few days. I was really healthy. Everything was great, trucking along. 2020 was a magical, marvelous year. We all know it. We all loved it. And because of the lockdown and everything, it was my 1-year anniversary. I just got married for the first time. And so we couldn't, for the first time, I was 53. You got to say that. I mean, I'm not 21 years old where you don't have to say that.
Just to clarify, he was the only one that broke out into laughter when you said that.
Yeah.
I was following.
Well, if you're 50 something as a dude and it's your first time getting married, everybody thinks you're damaged goods,
Yeah, it's like what's wrong with you?
Yeah, well, that leads me to ask them what happened the other 52 years before that through all this Hollywood life. But
he was living the dream. That's what happened.
I'm incredibly happy. What the hell are you talking about? Time of my life.
Beautiful.
Yeah, so I got married, and then it was going to be our anniversary. We couldn't go to Thailand. That's where we were going to go, so we had to cancel the tickets. So we said, hey, we'll go to Arizona, and we'll just hang out there. We got a family house there. We'll just hide, stay away so we don't have to wear masks in the house. And I woke up one morning at 6 a.m. and thought I had heartburn. I didn't have heartburn. I had like a massive, massive heart attack, and they raced me to the hospital and put a stent in. I was 100% blocked on my right side, 70 on my left side. And I ran 1.5 miles the night before. I was in great shape, healthy shape. Yeah. They say you shouldn't take 7 Viagra a day, but my wife is 21 years younger than me. So
yeah.
How many years younger? How many?
She's 21 years younger than me. So
got a stud over here.
Yeah. I was healthy as a horse. And then I got married to a woman 21 years younger than me and almost died. So you do your math. So yeah, then they put a stent in, and while I was on the recovery table, it failed, and so I went into full arrest again. And it was a great week. It was a party. But the good news is that a year later, they tested me. I just basically had some genetic weird stuff, and they fixed everything. The doctor said you will die of something besides your heart. So good to go.
Good. Well, I don't. Cool. Is good the proper response for that? Yeah.
Like you said, he's always running, always eats well. Was never like out of control, drink or any of that stuff.
What do they suspect clogged up your heart like that? If you're eating.
Well, actually, I was hereditary. I was a tad bit bitter because I was like, I had so many buddies who just use and abuse themselves, And here I am, like I love fried food. You could fry a shoe and I'd eat it, but I don't. Like, so, I try to moderate because I'm not giving up beer and wine. That's not happening. So, I'll moderate and give up what I've got to work out enough so that I can look decent. And so I said to the doc, I know so many people who look so much unhealthier and live way worse. I did this all for nothing. He said, no, if you wouldn't have led the life that you've been leading, you would have died in your 30s. I was like, oh, man. Okay. Wow. Well, so then it was good that I did all this. I basically, even though I've always had low cholesterol, well, apparently my body does weird stuff with cholesterol that we didn't know. So it was getting all cloggy, even though I didn't have bad cholesterol. Yeah, so that was weird. That was it. So now I'm on a fancy drug that takes care of cholesterol.
Molly?
Very sexy, very exciting. Yeah.
Right.
What's that?
Right.
It is Molly. It is Molly, yes.
Molly.
All right, let's make this a little lighthearted. We found some bloopers that we wanted to talk about.
Oh, you did?
Ryan.
Yeah. I want to pull these up. I hope you're okay with it. If you're not, I'll for sure cut it out. But they were fun. Okay, so we got this one.
This is the best one ever.
Yeah.
Isn't that great?
Doesn't miss a line.
Doesn't miss a beat.
And of course, Drew is laughing his ass off.
Yeah.
Hysterically.
Yeah.
Laughing his ass off. Yes. The way that started was I was on the treadmill and I just turned backwards just for fun. And I think it was Gwendolyn, the model standing next to me. He's like, you can't, shouldn't do that. It's not safe. I'm like, I've done it before. And I had done it before. I'm like, no, I do it all the time. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to actually jog then backwards. And so I was doing that. And then you can see, if you see in the frame, you'll see a hand coming out with a piece of paper. It's because when I was off camera, I was going to be on camera from the start. And then as soon as I was off camera, he was going to hand me the piece of paper. And then I would read, and then right as soon as I was going to be on camera again, it's a little trick. You hand it off camera, and then now you're on camera again without the paper. Voila. Well, if you see his hand, he doesn't reach in far enough. So there's a guy named Doug Quick who's now retired, but he just stuck it out just barely. So I had to reach over to try to grab it. And between running backwards and speaking, that was a little too much for my brain, and I just grenaded. But I kept reading because I didn't want to read it. I didn't want to read it.
Do you think Doug had it out for you?
I know Doug had it out for me.
I think that's what happened here.
It was afterwards when we cut to commercial. Because if you watch that clip online, just type in, like if you're watching the podcast, just type in George Gray Treadmill, Price is Right Treadmill, George Gray Idiot, anything like that. You'll get that hit. And when we went to commercial, because we have 5 cameras on the show, the executive producer came over. He said, "Are you okay? You all right?" And I said, "I'm a little bruised in my ego, but I think I'm okay." And I said, "Please tell me you got that on camera." Because even though they got that many cameras, I wasn't supposed to be on camera, so there may not have been a camera turned towards me. And he said, "Oh, we got it. We got it on camera." And I said, "Please tell me you're going to leave it in the show." And he said, "Oh, we're going to leave it in the show."
Yes.
And it went viral, and it was great. I loved it.
You did great recovery. Were you, even though you did a great recovery, at that moment, were you like in a complete panic at all?
No, I was actually trying not to laugh. I nailed my tailbone really, really hard. But
it looks like you hit your head.
When you do something that's stupid, all you can really do is laugh it off,
Yeah.
Can't undo it.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, like it makes me think about you're talking about the audition and the 20 shows that you were given. They want to see what kind of energy you bring. It's like that's exactly the kind of thing, or the way that you should respond to a situation like that. You know,
the kind of stupidity. All right, you got another blooper?
Heck yeah. So this lady just won a prize and she's super happy.
Yes. She
comes over.
She won a double prize. Boom.
So was that amazing. Staged? Was that staged?
I think you can see that it wasn't.
If it was staged, the TV went with it.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, if you see it, like I tried to rock backwards, like to slow the fall, because otherwise we were going to go through that TV. Yeah. But I actually loved the fact that I made like the news, and some like opinion shows and like, where they have like round tables and stuff. And
so great.
Because she went head first into my crotch.
Yeah.
So of course there was that was good for
a woman diving head first into George's crotch. What?
Did you guys go out after?
That's crazy.
Come on.
So wait, did she slipped on the way over? I guess. Yeah. Is that what happened?
Allegedly. I mean, I think if she wanted to meet me, she could have just said hi.
Yeah. Did you take her out afterwards?
I did. I don't think I had to. I think
our business was done.
She was not. Neither one of us were injured, though. That was the good story. She just, if you look, she tripped over the carpeting that was right there. She was coming over to hug me.
Yeah.
Yeah. The excitement just
all right.
She got more than she bargained for.
Yes, she did. That's right.
Can we watch that one more time? I want to see the trip over the rug. Just rewind it a tad.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Oh yeah, the rug. You could see it.
Yeah, it is right there.
For sure. You actually saved her from falling. You saved her from falling.
Wait! Look at her! Look at the model touching her. Did you just see the swipe up her thigh by the model? Anybody? Somebody catch that?
Help a G out now. Look at Drew. He's laughing his tits off.
That's great. Like you said, man, you can't not have fun there. I can see it.
One of our models, Manuela, there's something else that went viral. It's called 5 price tags. And it's a game where you can win picks. You can win up to 3 picks. We got 5 price tags of numbers that are car prices. Only one of them is really the price of the car. If you pick that one, you win the car. Simple as that. Yeah. But you have to earn your picks. And the woman had earned 1 pick maybe. And Manuela, she would have had 2 picks. That's right. Because she said, okay, what would you like, Drew, what would you like to pick first? Picks the first one. No, that's not right. Well, when the game's over, the model always reveals the other ones to show where the actual price was. Manuela, without thinking, I think she maybe thought the woman only had 1 pick. Oh, no. The first pick was wrong. And so Manuela just started pulling the other card, and it said winner on it. So the way the rules work, she gave away the car.
Wow. Did she get in trouble for that?
No, as a matter of fact, well, she says to this day she thought she might get fired for that, and actually our producer,
fuck up.
Our producer said no. As a matter of fact, that car pales in comparison to the publicity that we got from that, because they had millions of views and all over the news because somebody got a car by accident, and it was great. It was awesome. So again, another real funny, natural moment that we still talk about to this day.
So
in the family.
Of real funny natural moments that you still talk about to this day, have you ever dated any of the models?
Spit take.
No. They are like my hot sisters, which means when somebody talks about them, I just roll my eyes and go, get away from them.
Ryan and I played in a band with a hot chick, so we understand how that goes.
You know what it is. Yeah. She becomes your sister. You become, a protective brother.
It almost gets to the point like, come on, dude, don't talk to me.
Exactly.
I like Jimmy the model, actually.
I can arrange that meeting. Jimmy is one of the nicest people on the planet. Like if you're watching right now and you don't know who he is, he's one of our male models. We have him and a guy named Devin, and Jimmy's one of those guys that you just, as a dude, want to hate because he's a good looking guy. He's got a freaking Australian accent that just
slays him.
And then he takes his shirt off and he's got like a 27 pack. Like he's not too yoked up. He's just got this naturally really amazing physique. He's funny. He's nice. And then you find out, he plays guitar and drums and he can sing and he's got like some freaking science degree.
So what's the downfall? There's got to be a downfall somewhere, right?
Well,
haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, he's hung like a church mouse. You know what? He's just one of those guys that, and of course you go out with him, you're like, I bet he's not going to drink, or he'll eat a Tic Tac and a piece of celery. Oh no, he will outdrink you,
life of the party.
out-party you.
Yeah, but then he's also the same guy that ends up killing his girlfriend. You're like, really? He did that? No.
See, you're still trying. That's the thing. That's
and
what
his
he says.
wife, Jamie, is smoking hot, and she's super nice. I'm telling you, there's something up with them. There's something up with them. I don't trust either one of them. They're too
serial
perfect.
killers.
Too damn good looking. Too damn good looking. I love that guy.
They punch babies for hobby.
We have one more blooper, don't we, Harris?
Oh.
Yes, we do. We do. This one.
Oh, yeah.
More fun to master than a treadmill. These self-balancing e-skates.
I mean, of course.
Of course.
You had to know that was going to happen.
With reflex.
You know what? I actually did know that was going to happen because those are death machines.
Oh, hell no.
When they wanted me to get on them, I'm like, guys, these things they're freaking hard. And I'm on a glassy, smooth surface, which is way easier than whatever concrete you're going to have them on. And I was like, I'm going to fall. And they're like, well, then you don't have to do it if you don't want to. And I went, no, it's fine. That's what's funny. So just I'll fall.
Would you have gotten in any kind of weird sauce with them if you said, no, I don't want to do it?
No, they would be fine with it. But to me, I love looking like a jackass and doing the dumb stuff. So for me, the stupider, the better. There's actually, I think it's from this last season. It just aired, I think. I'm on something like that, some death machine, and I knew I was going to fall off of it. And so I came out, like they just happened to have one of those Swiffer mops by the side of the stage where I was at. So I was like, I'm going to borrow this. So I grabbed it and I just used it in front of me as like a cane wedge.
Cane, walking
and so
stick.
I kind of went around and mopped the floor, but I didn't fall down. See?
Nice. And they appreciated you cleaning up the place.
Cleaning up after myself.
Cleaning up the place.
I always try to help.
That reminds me of one time. This is just a stupid little side note. I was driving down Fairfax going home, and I saw somebody on one of those like unicycle things. He was standing on it, leaning forward, and had groceries in one hand, backpack on the phone, going down Fairfax in the bike lane on this unicycle thing. And I'm like, hey, dude, are you trying to kill yourself? Like,
did he wipe out or was he okay?
He was okay for as long as I saw him. So hopefully that
There's
gentleman's
nothing more funny than being in your car and seeing somebody have a skateboard, bicycle, some kind of wipeout. You don't want them to be hurt. But man, when it happens, it's just like, oh.
Yeah.
Be honest. Did you swerve just a little and nail the horn? Come on.
I sped up. I sped up a little bit, and I hoped that the tailwind was gonna knock him off, or at least make him drop his phone to the sewer or something like that.
It's the polite thing to do. Exactly.
Something like that. Yeah. Whatever.
Shouldn't be on a unicorn.
That is amazing.
Should not be on a. I just call it a unicorn.
Unicorn.
We'll wrap it up with a couple quick response questions. We're gonna say something. Just first thing that comes to your head, spit it out.
It's like psychotherapy.
Exactly.
Stoneman, why don't you start this off?
G, how is it being married, bro?
Awesome.
For those listening and not watching, there was a winky going on there.
Another way to do that is it's the greatest thing ever.
Of the bloopers and funny things that happen and this and that go on, is any of that staged? Is any of it staged?
Zero. Nothing.
Zero.
Nope.
All right.
Nothing. Like when we did the Gong show, every bit was manufactured. That's the way the Gong show was. Price is right. Everything's real. Everything's genuine. And that's why, for some reason, Drew's known to have an improv background. I don't know why, but Like, I love it. Some of our most fun things are when we have commercial breaks, because Drew he doesn't leave stage. So I don't leave stage. We stick around and Drew will turn to audience members and say, hey, so, where are you from? What's going on? And then we just riff. Like, we just have fun. We just kind of freewheel and,
Next question. Okay, so you've done a lot of cool shit in your life, everything from playing college baseball to doing The Price is Right. Is there a period in life, I guess you can include The Price is Right now that I know how much cool shit it's been. What is your favorite period if one period that sticks out to you the most?
I would say the last 20 minutes of my life have been the best.
Good answer. Good answer.
Man, that's cool.
You didn't put the caveat in there, Johnny. You should have put the caveat in there.
What,
Right?
I was
You're
gonna
say besides today.
Besides today, you know what, man? I think one of the coolest things I've ever had happen is when I found out I was getting priced. I actually found out that Jeff Davis, who's another Who's Line guy, is one of the funniest guys on the planet. He was the dude they were going to pick. I knew it. And I saw him at the Improv and bumped into him. I'm like, hey, dude, and I knew it was down to him and me. And I was just sweating it. I figured I wasn't going to get it. And we were talking. I'm like, oh, it's down to the wire here. And he says, oh, because he said, congratulations. I'm like, what are you talking about? He said, you didn't hear? They didn't pick up my option. And he's like, wow. Oh, I got to go. I got to hit stage. And I walked out of the building. I stood on the sidewalk and I screamed.
So he was the guy that already had the gig. So you beat out the guy that was there already.
Once his option wasn't renewed, I knew it was me. It had to be by default. Yeah. So, like you watching a movie where somebody goes out and goes, woo! And that never really happens. Well, it never has for me, but it did once. Yeah. One time. That was the one time I lost my mind.
Be honest, yes or no question. Whenever you got on that wall and you screamed out of excitement, did you by chance scream, I'm on top of the world?
You know what was weird? I said, oh, Captain, my Captain, which is
even better.
Even better. My Captain.
That's funny.
Strange.
All right, you're up there, Stoneman. It's your turn.
Stoney.
Oh, all right.
Of all your cars, of all the cars I know you're an avid car collector.
Yes.
Which is your favorite? Which is your favorite one? I have a personal favorite because I've been in a lot of your cars, right? So I have a personal favorite. But what's your personal favorite?
List off some of the cars we're talking about, though, so we know what we're choosing between.
Yeah, what do we do?
Gosh. Okay. I just in no particular order, just what I can think of. A 55 Thunderbird, a 58 and 59 Berkeley, which were little British race cars, a 6 Amphi car, which goes into the water. It's a car that you can drive into the water. A 62 Studebaker Lark convertible that's supercharged. A 1983 Chrysler LeBaron convertible, so pimp.
Awesome.
A 67 Volkswagen Bug convertible, 77
Herbie.
Volkswagen, it is, yes. Bus, a 72 Bronco, a
that's
68
awesome.
Bronco,
that's my favorite, the 72.
A 72 Scout, 66 Travelall, a 300 ZX from 1984.
Where do you keep them all?
What's that?
Where do you keep
I'm
them?
so white. I'm so white trash. It's all over the place, dude. It's like I wish I had a huge bitchin' warehouse like Leno, but everybody says, "Oh, you're kind of like Jay Leno." I'm like, no, I'm like a schoolboy next to John Holmes. I mean, I got a couple of it's not even close, But my favorite car has to be, and it's favorite for a different reason. It's a bitchin' car, but it's my father's, and he passed away 20 years ago. His 1969 Pontiac Firebird convertible,
Nice.
bitchin' car, beautiful car. But it's my
badass.
dad. It's my dad's. So every time I get in it, pat the dash, love you, Papa G. It's
Papa G.
That's good shit.
Ride Dog, why don't you close it out with one more question, and then we'll have this awesome dude fucking do that intro for us.
Yeah, question of the day. I'm just going to shamelessly self-promote. One of my dream gigs was to be a guitar player on like a late night show or something like that. And I was wondering, since you're in the biz, can you hook me up? Can I be the Price is Right guitar player?
Absolutely. It's
All
going to be a one-man band, but we could make that happen.
That's
sure.
even better. It's even better.
You know what?
You know the drums, so we're already on the way.
I tell you, I've always wanted to do a late night show because I love sketch, I love improv, stand up, interviews, and that you get all that, right?
Yeah.
Well, when it was before James Corden came on to do Late, Craig Ferguson was just leaving, and so they were giving a lot of people like one night to guest host the show to fill in for the couple of months. They offered the gig to Drew. They offered him the show, and he's like, "Nah, I don't want to do it because he's Drew Carey."
Yeah.
And but they said, "Well, would you do some guesting?" So he actually did a week up front and a week on the tail. We had the first week and the last week, and he asked me to be his sidekick. Asked me to be his Ed McMahon, and
amazing.
that. Dude, you're right on the money because it's one of the most fun things ever. It is so freaking fun doing a late night show. I mean, I just got to be there. Yes, you are correct, sir.
Yeah.
And drinking beer out my coffee mug. Yeah.
And it was
great.
for the Craig Ferguson.
It was the late show. It was right before James Corden came in.
Oh, I'm sorry.
To take over the show. Yeah, well, Craig was leaving. James is coming in. So while they were reconfiguring, there was that lag.
Thanks, everybody. G, thanks for joining us here on the What Everybody podcast. Stoneman, thanks for bringing in Mr. G for us. You got to check out the band, the G's. I can't wait to see you guys sometime. And make sure you go like, subscribe, and report like we always like to say here on the What Everybody podcast, along with whateverybody.com. Until next week, you have a good week.
Whatever, buddy.
Whatever, buddy. See ya.